And let's begin. This is Algebra 1.1, solving one-step equations. Or linear equations, I think they call them. Anyway, we've got x minus 2 equals 5. Basic idea here is that you're treating this equal sign as a balancing board, and everything you do on one side of the equals, you have to do on the other side of the equals so that it balances out. So, what I want to do is get this x by itself. I'm always trying to isolate the x. So, what I want to do is take this 2 and move it over here. What I do to do that is I do the opposite of whatever's happening to it to get rid of it on this side. So since it's being subtracted right now, I want to add the 2, because addition is the opposite of subtraction. And then I added a 2 on this side of the equals, so I need to add a 2 on this side of the equals. Anything you do on one side of the equal, you have to do on the other side. So now x equals 5 plus 2 is 7. That one is solved. Example number 2 is x plus 3.2 equals 6.7. It's going to be the same thing. This 3.2 is being added right now, so I'm going to subtract 3.2. And because I did it on this side of the equals, I have to do it on that side of the equals. Minus 3.2. 7 minus 2 is 5. 6 minus 3 is 3. Drop that point down. And I get 3.5. X equals 3.5. Does that make sense? I don't know why I'm asking. You can't answer. Existential crisis. Hold on. Moving on. This next example is a little tricky. We've got x plus 5 over 6 equals 3 over 4. Fractions can trip a lot of people up, so pay attention. Again, this is being added, so we're going to subtract 5/6. We're going to subtract 5/6. Now we need to do some fraction work, because you can't subtract this 6 from this 4. So 3 over 4 minus 5 over 6 is we're going to have to convert. Let me make some space. We're going to have to convert these into a like denominator. So we're going to multiply this one by 6 and this one by 4. So 6 times 4 is 6, 12, 18, 24. 6 times 3 is 18. 6 times 4 is 24. 5 times 4 is 20. So 18 minus 20 is negative 2 over 24. And we can divide that down by dividing both the top and the bottom by 2. So that becomes negative 1 over 12. Because 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 24 divided by 2 is 12. That's how you simplify a fraction. This next one uses multiplication and division instead of addition and subtraction. 5x equals 25. So when the x is touching the number like this and there's nothing in between them, that means it's multiplying. So we're going to divide by 5, divide by 5, and then x equals 25 divided by 5, which is 5. Pretty simple, right? Example 5, x over 3.5 equals 10. So this is a fraction, right? This line in a fraction means divided by. So this is x divided by 3.5 equals 10. So if we're going to get rid of the 3.5, we have to do the opposite to it, whatever's happening. The opposite of division is multiplication. So we multiply by 3.5, multiply by 3.5, and 3.5 times 10 is 35. Because we just move this decimal over 1 point. When you multiply by a 10, you can just move a decimal over, and that's how you get the answer. So x equals 35. And now we've entered the world of word problems. This one says, Ronald is cooking brownies for a bake sale at his school. The recipe calls for 8 eggs. He has put in 5 eggs already. How many more eggs does he need to put in? Write an equation to represent this problem, then solve. Hold on. This is one of those weird ones because as you read it, you just go, okay, he needs 3 eggs. You know, you just sort of figure that out. He needs 8, he's got 5, he needs 3. But to create it as an equation, as to write it out, then what you need is the eventual thing is going to equal 8. So you're going to put 8 by itself on the other side of the equal. And then over here, you're going to go, x is what we're looking for. That's how many eggs are left that he needs. And then the number of eggs that he has is 5. And what's the operation that unites the two? It's either going to be addition or subtraction. And so it's addition, just because it's missing eggs plus the eggs he already has. It seems a little silly to me, I'm going to be honest. But that's part of the thing, and we're learning. We're learning together. So, there you go. Example 7. You receive a $100 gift certificate to an online video game rental website. Each game rental costs $5. How many games can you rent with your gift certificate? Write an equation to represent this problem, then solve. Okay, so x is the number of games because it's our unknown. We don't know yet how many games we can rent. Each game costs $5. That means you're multiplying the number of games by 5. So we're going to make it 5x. And however many games we rent, the maximum we can do is 100. So we do 5x equals 100, divide by 5, divide by 5, and x equals 20 games. You can rent 20 games, or 1 game 20 times, or 2 games 10 times. You know, different combinations. That does it for 1.1. If you need anything, if you need a review, just go backwards in the video and rewatch. Hopefully it'll make sense.